22. Ready? Commence. I am really very glad to be here with you all this afternoon to perform the most pleasant job of inaugurating the Founders Day celebrations of your school. I must at the outset thank you for giving me this opportunity. I now propose to share my random thoughts with you of what I consider to be the chief characteristics of a good and ideal school. A good school, in spite of its many difficulties, should never forget the basic fact that the mind of the individual is to be respected. That should, in my view, be the starting point of any true education. I am sure you will agree with me on this vital point. The process of education is a continuing one in which every stage has its own significance. So, it is very necessary that proper care and attention should be bestowed on every stage. Because if any mistake is committed in a particular stage, it will have its own repercussions in the next stage and the whole education will get spoiled. A good school directs its educational effort to the development of the whole educational structure and not only to some one aspect or part thereof. Both the moral and physical sides of the pupil's life should be taken into account. The pattern of education should be so prepared as to lay particular stress on this aspect of the matter. If it is not done, I am afraid we may have to face a very unhappy consequence. A good school should be a place of purposeful activity. It is very essential that those in charge of the school administration should take care to see that the education taught in the school should train the students to be useful citizens of this country of ours in their later life. Unless this is done, the very object of education is likely to be jeopardized. In all the money and time spent on education cannot be considered to have been usefully spent. The pupils should be taught the value of clean life and the need to help the poor in distress. They should be taught to be of service to the weaker sections of society. They should be taught the high morals of life and a readiness to work for the common good. If the students were given proper instructions on these lines, I am sure they will really be very good, useful and ideal citizens in their later life. The community will also greatly benefit by such education given to the students. The utility of the students to the pupils is a very important factor and that should be borne in mind while formulating the pattern of education. I hope and trust that I have made this point quite clear to my audience. I appeal to the educationists all over the country to take these suggestions of mine in the right spirit and come forward to revise the pattern of education in the schools in their respective regions. Now, I wish to pass on to another important aspect of education. A good school should initiate in its students the process of self-education and a true awakening and a desire in them about the role that they will be called upon to play in their later life to assist society. I do hope that the teachers of this school, its students and their parents will all strive to the best of their ability to make it a place where all the above characteristics of a good school could be effectively demonstrated. You are in a very advantageous position to do this. You have a competent teaching faculty. You have a fine set of pupils. You have a fine educational apparatus. You have a well-furnished building. Every school in the country does not have these advantages. Some of the schools in the country are really very jealous of you because of these advantages which you fortunately enjoy. So you can remove this jealousy to some extent by considering some of their problems as yours and also showing them the way to solve them. Thus, besides doing your job well, you have also the responsibility of setting up a good example for the other schools to follow. I know that it is a difficult job, but placed as you are in a comfortable position, I am sure that it will not be too difficult for you. I may be allowed to emphasize another important factor to the parents of boys and girls studying in this school. It is the usually forgotten fact that education is the joint venture of the teacher, the people, and his parents. It is essential for the success of the educational process that the parents and guardians know and understand what the school seeks to do and to actively cooperate in it. Lastly, a word to the student. You are fortunate in studying in this school. The teachers will help and guide you, but the adventure of education is essentially yours. With these few words, I conclude my speech. Stop.